Hey everyone, look at these smiling faces today. I love seeing y'all. Y'all just make my afternoon, I tell you. Hi D'Angelo, how you doing today, honey?
I'm great, Blair. I'm still struggling to find different outfits to wear every day for this show, but I'm here. I'm here and I'm queer, so it's all good. Okay? Yes.
Yes, and you're giving us safari chic, so I'm
Yes.
here for that. I think I'm giving you sporty chic, but you can't see what's on the bottom, which is great. Salome, nice to have you as well. It's good to see your face, and I love this look of yours as well.
Thank you so much. I tried to not make it look like I've been working from home for months.
It's been years at this point, but that is perfectly fine. You look great. And hello to every beautiful body out there. I know y'all have been waiting for us, business as usual. You know, we don't let technology get us up. That ain't nothing but, the devil, honey. But at the end of the day, we're going to make sure we give you all of our energy and all the information that we have for you. For those who are not familiar, my name is Blair G. Hervey. I'm the founder and CEO of The Corporate Strategist. I'm joined by my colorful co-host, my bestie and soul friend of 20 plus years, and independent consultant of The Corporate Strategist, D'Angelo Crane. Hi, D.
Hey, Blair. Every time you announce that, it just sounds like I'm a Jamaican because I got 42 jobs. Okay. I shouldn't say that. I think lots of people have 42 jobs in this economy. My apologies to anyone out there that was not
in the Jamaican community. See,
yes, exactly. No, don't want to say anything, but everyone is working overtime these days, so my apologies there. Okay, but needless to say, yes, I'm glad to be here again with you today, Blair Hervey.
Thank you, and welcome everyone to the Black DEIBA Collective podcast. So I will, or LinkedIn Live series. I keep saying podcasts. That sounds so, you know what everybody's doing. We're doing a LinkedIn Live series to give you all a daily dose of diva. So D, why don't you kick it off and get us started so we can get into this topic soon?
All right. Well, you know what we do every time during this day is we have the art of the check-in where we just check in with everyone on a deeper level. So we just not just a surface level, I'm okay. We want to know if you're not okay or if you're feeling really great or if there's something you're excited about that you want to shout out. And we always start off with our guest, Salome. How are you feeling today? What's on your mind, your brain, your heart?
I'm feeling really good today. Like I got up, I got this together, and so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Honestly, just highly favored to be here with y'all.
I love it. I love it. And we appreciate that you put this look together for us because we love some looks here on the Black DEIBA Collective LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live series. All right. Blair Hervey, how you feeling today?
You know what? I gave the little shoulder shimmy because when I heard Salome say, I'm feeling good, feeling great, I heard, I'm feeling great. How are you?
I'm glad you caught it. I'm glad you caught it.
I'm 8 millions. Town down. Anywho, I'm feeling wonderful as always. I'm feeling highly productive. My energy is way up. I've had my muscle milk today. Shout out to Muscle Milk. They need to go ahead and give us a sponsorship as well. And I've had my water, so I'm glowing. I'm doing great. How are you, D?
I'm doing okay. Does Muscle Milk have actual milk in it? Like, is it a dairy product?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
A non-dairy product. It is, I believe, 35 grams of protein, 170 calories for my girlies and my guys and my everyone who's counting their calories to make sure that they stay fit. Yeah, and no sugar.
Oh, you totally did do a whole promo for them, so I'm sure they will be like, Muscle Milk, the Black DEIBA Collective, sponsored by Muscle Milk, and I'll have to be like, I drink it, but I really don't. But okay, anyhow, point being that I am here. I'm excited to be in the presence of two wonderful, talented Portland women because you both give me inspiration. Salome and I have been on some panels together, so it's great to be back in her presence again and to hear from her today. So I'm good today. I'm good today.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. And I love that my brother is supporting us today. He is not a fan of Muscle Milk because protein comes from so many places. But nonetheless, we can get protein from lots of places. We can get energy. We can get knowledge from lots of places. And today we're getting it from Salome. Today's guest is a multilingual guest, and she comes with almost 10 years of experience in politics, 5 of which are in government relations. She has a heart for advocacy, social justice, work in advocacy, and engaging underserved communities. As a young, queer, disabled woman of color whose family immigrated to the US, she has a unique background in how she approaches work and problems. Social justice issues are her passion, and she's now responsible for the design, implementation, and evaluation of community engagement strategies related to the Black-owned DEI consulting firm, Espousal Strategies, and their mission and all of their work products. And so thank you, Salomé. Welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. It sounds a lot cooler than what I experienced, but I was like, ooh, who's she? She sounds cool. Oh, that's supposed to be me. Okay. All right.
That is you. And I love how just about on everything that I see, you only have one name. I was like, okay, she's like Beyonce, Salomé, the community engagement manager.
More like people barely got past the first name. They're like, that last name don't even need it. We're gonna be happy about the first.
Well, just for all the giggles, let us know what your last name is.
Chimuku.
Chimuku.
CHIMUK. Yeah. See, now you see why people stopped at the first. They're like, look, I got the first down. Like, you're just gonna have to be okay with that. And I am okay with that.
We're going to work on it. Well, I'll tell you what, we're very excited to have you here and very pleased with, impressed with your background for sure. And that's what brought you here as well today. We'd love to hear in your own words. Tell us a little bit more about the work that you currently do and what actually brought you into this work to serve underrepresented communities.
That's a really great question. In terms of the work I currently do, I really feel like most of my work is just centered around relationships. Building relationships with individuals, with leaders in the community, with community-based organizations, and just really fostering more around equity in relationships and relationship building. A lot of the work I do is centered around community engagement. It's centered around restorative relationship building. Between communities and other communities, but also between communities and structures that are trying or saying that they want to serve them. The way I got here is just a deep desire to want to have influence and change in what I see around me. My family immigrated here into the United States right before I was born. I was born actually in Portland, Oregon. I was the welcome to America, if you will, baby that was like, now things are different. And so like with my parents and growing up in the Columbia Villa, seeing the different families around that were like me, and then going to high school across town where no family was like mine, it was just like a big eye-opening thing of like, oh, this isn't how life has to be. Like, this isn't how things are gonna have to be. And these are things that are influencing that. And so, like many parents, my parents were like, if you're not in school and you're done with homework, you're volunteering. So I was out of the house doing Lord's work and sometimes some other work 24/7 and all the way through college. And then one day I just walked into the Capitol building and Goldilocks it and ate some food that I shouldn't have eaten that wasn't mine to eat, and then had to come up with some ideas to basically justify to myself I deserve to be in this space that they were doing. And it just so happens there was a space around voting rights and getting more communities registered to vote. And so that became a statewide program here in Oregon, one of the first in the nation to register voters during naturalization ceremonies that took off in the rest of the country, seeing how successful it was. So that's kind of how I stumbled and bumbled my way into the field. And then ever since then, I've just felt a need to work wherever I saw fit, where I saw ideals being reached for that I've always wanted to see. So it's why I've worked in and out of public sector. It's why I've worked for government agencies on the activism side, just going where my heart, my mind tells me I need to go and be. And it's been really meaningful, really amazing. I meet a lot of great people along the way. Not to promote that all Black queers know each other, but that's how I met D'Angelo and got connected with him. It's also how I co-founded the Black Resilience Fund in Portland and worked really hard on that. And so, yeah, it's been working out so far, and it's been very passionate work.
Oh, that is exciting. I definitely want to hear more about you founding the Black Resilience Fund. Dee, before you get into the topic, I just want to make sure that we clarify for our audience because we have a pretty broad audience. We've gone live on LinkedIn with, tons of professionals, but we're also live on Facebook where folks may just be tuning in to support us, right? And they may not be familiar with that term equity or the difference between equity and equality. They sound pretty similar, but obviously they have different outcomes. Do you mind sharing with the audience the difference between equality and equity? Salome?
Oh, me. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking to D. I was like, oh yeah, D got this. D can explain this all day. So I kind of cheat. It's actually funny that you asked me to define this because I did participate in an art contest that I got first prize in, describing the difference between equity and equality. So I feel like this is definitely like a question. So I think many people are familiar with equality as treating everybody the same. Equity is a step further than that. Equity is treating everybody individually and uniquely to where they need to be at the same level. So it's not just about like everybody gets this equal piece of a pie. It's recognizing that some people are super hungry, some people are not. It's recognizing that some people may need a different type of pie or a different type of food to get to that level of full. And so that is what equity is. Equity is not just giving everybody the same thing, it's giving everybody what they need to get to the same destination, which is on an even playing field.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and take us into the topic?
Sure, because the topic really leans into what you all just was talking about, right? Quote, your personal core values define who you are, and a company's core values ultimately define the company's character and brand. For individuals, character is destiny. For organizations, culture is destiny. And that's by Tony Hsieh, former and founder of CEO Zappos. And when you think about today's employee, when 46% of them are saying company culture is a factor where they want to work at, and that 63% of companies are finding it harder to retain than hire workers, and really culture attracts higher caliber of employees, which leads to a 33% increase in revenue. So when you think about it, values, what does your company stand for, is extremely important because it really is your difference in retaining and attracting top talent within the workforce, right? And it's also about how is your customer base, how they're going to advocate and rally for you when they know that you stand for something and you're not falling for anything. So today's conversation is really how do we create workplace values with an equity mindset, right? So that now we've talked a lot about in the workplace about equality. We're really now about how do we have equity, right? And what does that look like? So Salome, let's get right into it. So you already talked to us about what motivates you to do this work. Can you talk a little bit about because we like to get a little personal here on the Black DEIBA Collective. What do you do to re-energize or center yourself when the work is challenging, when it gets really tough and it gets really dark, right? And you're like, I need some energy. What do you do to refuel yourself?
Um, I would say that there's some core basics things that I do. I'm very mindful about where I choose to work. And work culture is one of those things that I think about because one of the ways that I recharge is someone who's an extrovert. I like having a team with me. I like having the feeling of there's people right next to me. We elbow to elbow, greasing it up, trying to get stuff changed. And I feel like it's like a family in a work culture in the sense that it's like I want to have family members that I choose to keep around me. And so like that's how I recharge is having certain coworkers, certain friends that I'm like, you understand this because you're doing this as well. And I don't have to explain to you what about these situations are messed up. Like we can just sit here and be like, man, let's go down the street. Like we ain't even gotta. We both eye rolled in the same Zoom meeting and just like, you know what? I went off camera against our company policy. Just need a second, and I saw that you saw me, and we're good because that's recharging to me, being seen. Ultimately, the other thing that's recharging to me is reminding myself why I got into the work in the first place. Why am I doing this? Why am I striving? Because I still recognize that the people that I'm interacting with, not everyone is happy that I'm working towards this goal. And not only that, but there are certain people that are in a space where they don't have anything to really be happy about in terms of how things have been going for them thus far. And so I can't expect them to come greeting me with the energy that I have, because for them, this is just another day of trying to navigate the world around them to survive. And so I think having those real deep human connections are what really recharges me, because even with those folks who, our first few times meeting were them just getting a lot of stuff off their chest and not cussing me out as an individual, but just mad, and seeing that transformation later for them being like, all right, no, I'm okay. Like that's re-energizing for me. I think lastly, the other thing that's re-energizing for me is that I've been doing art for a really long time. And so when there's when no one's available, when no one's around, it's in the middle of the night, or I just feel like it. Sometimes I'll just pull something out, doodle, draw. I might play some video games if I feel compelled. But it's just, I'm very, very close to my internal battery and knows what it needs. And so most of the time it's just people around that I'd call fam, the chosen family that I get to be around and communicate with to remind me why I'm here in the first place.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's really important to know what you need to be able to operate at your fullest, and to optimize all of your gifts. And that's something that you can share with others in the workplace, and like you said, in your community and with the folks that you work with or you connect with on a daily basis. But when we're talking about in the workplace and we're talking about centering equity and getting folks engaged and things of that nature, I can think of a time when I used to work for a company and I saw a tall, dark-skinned Black woman with long locks come on stage, and she was a C-level executive. And I was almost in tears. I saw her for the very first time, and then there was another vice president that walked on and gave a talk about some things that was going on at that particular company at a kickoff. And what I realized in that moment was representation. And what I realized in that moment as well, I felt like it was possible for me not only to have a mentor, of someone that looked like me. I didn't have to go searching for Bazoma St. John, because that's the only mentor that I can imagine at the time that would really connect with me. It was right there at that organization. And then number two, I realized what was possible for me. I could be a C-level executive. I could be a VP at that organization and not have to go at it alone. And so representation is really, really important when it comes to centering equity in organizations. What other two things would you say are really important when these corporations are trying to build an equitable environment?
Thinking about accessibility, honestly, because you can have all the diversity up and downwards, front and back of your organization. But if these folks don't find it accessible to speak to each other or be in the same space as each other, then it's just going to stop at I'm window dressing our exec. I can think of other organizations that I've been a part of where, the person at the very tippy top is Black. And not only that, like a brother type Black. And what's the benefit of that if the other Black staff feel like there is a barrier between them and him in terms of being able to talk to him or experience him and his leadership? So that's one piece of it. The other thing I would say, so the second piece to it is the ability to show people that they can grow in the space in the way that they want to. Oftentimes we think about growth being upward mobility and adding more title to my name or more letters at the end of it. But sometimes upward mobility for somebody could be, I came in with this role, but I really found that this is my passion and I'd like to go and see where this is taking me. So for instance, in the firm that I work for right now, there's an individual there who really wants to do more in terms of facilitation. It's led us to look for more facilitation centered projects and opportunities so that person can grow in the area that they would like to grow in. And so it doesn't always have to be like unilateral upward growth. It can be to the side, it can be in different fields, it can be in different areas, but just the focus that growth, no matter where it takes you, whether it's staying here with us or us recommending you somewhere else, is our goal for you. So yeah, accessibility and growth.
So the alliteration of the day, I already got it. So it would be representation, which was that R. And then Salomé also said, what was the A?
Accessibility.
And then the G was growth. So make sure you have those three things going on in your organization. We've heard all kinds of things about rotational programs to give people an opportunity to explore new roles. So that is definitely a part of that. And awareness within the organization. I think oftentimes we roll out these DEIB efforts and there's no awareness within the organization about what's going on and what the outcome and what the goal is. So thank you for sharing that, Salomé.
Yeah, of course.
So Salomé, if I was a HR team and I'm crafting values for our organization, what does a value look like that has an equity mindset? How would we write it? What does it say?
I would say that one mindset that I definitely have is accountability doesn't stop at apology. And the second half of that is accountability doesn't stop with apology. It starts with action. So it's not that your action is the last thing you do either. That's the when you start taking accountability is when you have an action. And so that's one of them. Another value is that you don't have to understand to be aware. And what I mean by that is that like you have diversity among your staff, and not everyone's going to be able to understand fully where someone is coming from with something, but that doesn't inhibit them from being aware of the role they play, either complicitly or subconsciously in certain culture dynamics and certain workspace activities. And then the other thing is to value wholeness. And what that means is that, not just stopping at what the person's role is, but valuing that individual as a whole person, which means that you have to give them space to express as a whole person. Even in our firm, we have a majority of people of color, but we also understand that the folks in our office live in intersections and have different experience to different types of news outlets, information, and just how they come about and approach the work. And that it's not a matter of, I need you to fill this one role. It's more of you're a whole person with these range of skills and opportunities, a range of what you want to learn, and how do we holistically hold you up in these spaces and in our workspace? Because it's not just a matter of, hey, dog, like, come here and it's going to be great. And we're going to vibe and we're going to chill and we're going to get along. It's also the, like, I got your back in this meeting where someone came at you disrespectfully. Like, we're here to be respectful. We're here to advance this or other organization or this effort. But it doesn't mean that you could disrespect my coworker. It doesn't mean that you can commit microaggressions against my coworker, because our idea about acceptance, accessibility does not stop internally. It also goes externally, and we hold a line of what is acceptable and what is not, because what do we look like telling you like you have to respect the folks that you're engaging with, their pronouns, but you're allowed to misgender our staff? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, those are like the three that I would stop with.
Go ahead, summarize those for us again. So 3 values that every organization should have out there. I heard advocacy. What were the other 2 that you would say?
So one was like holistic acceptance. And so allowing people to be their whole selves, whatever form that may be. The other one was accountability doesn't stop at apology. It starts with action.
Beautiful.
And then the last was, sorry, I just got a little something in my throat. The last was recognizing that you all are here to do a certain goal, whatever it may be, but it doesn't have to stop at respecting each other or having others respect you. So, I mean, how oftentimes do we even hear in these spaces, especially when we're talking about DIBA, someone going, well, I'm going to take this like not really fair pay because I'm doing really meaningful work, or I'm going to accept this kind of toxicity because it's about advancing the community I come from. And it's like,
yeah, it's not necessary.
Really serving.
Exactly. So, and I love the other value that you kind of sprinkled in there about prioritizing pay and wages. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't have to take anything on the chin just to continue to advance. So we always say here, or we started to say here, that we would deserve peace and pay. So that definitely should be a value and something to take into your next meeting. Well, listen, I know we only have a couple of minutes left. We always love to do, well, we just started this quick rapid fire. So we're going to ask you a couple quick questions that you did not prepare for. Nothing that's going to have you on the front page of the Oregonian or anything like that.
Look, then why am I here then?
D'Angelo and I will go back and forth. I'll go first, and I think we'll go maybe 4 questions, and then we'll wrap it up since we only have a few minutes. All right. First question, Gail or Stedman?
Stedman.
Oh, okay.
Look, I told you it's gonna happen. Look, y'all are real quiet.
Okay. Yeah, that was good. Okay. Blackish or The Cosby Show?
Blackish.
Okay. All right. That was actually a good answer. Here's a quick question. It's not an either or. What do you do before you parallel park?
Turn down my music.
Yes. She knew. Okay, last one, D. Last one.
It's a situation. What is that?
Look, it just happened. Like, look, I can tell you, I am a phenomenal parallel parker, but I just have to turn down my music because it's like, all right, I got to get out of the vibe I've been, because I've been mobbing with E40 or whomever I've been mobbing with the last 20 minutes. I got to get ready to get out this car, collect myself.
Okay, well, you mentioned a rap, so I'm gonna give you this: Jay-Z or Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick.
I love, she's decisive too. Listen, Salomé, thank you for being here. We really appreciate your time. We'll definitely have to have you back to dive in. You all have plenty to take into your next meeting. Dee, do you have a quick shout out for us before we wrap up?
I do. Today's shout out is to someone who truly lives the values of giving back to their community and building up the local community. And that is Donnie Atkins, who is a local business owner, real estate investor, restaurant club owner from Louisville, Kentucky, and one of my dearest friends. And he definitely is continuing to put money back into West Louisville and really, like I said, living that value of putting your money where your mouth is. And so shout out to Donnie Atkins. Follow him on LinkedIn and the Facebook.
I love that. And make sure that you are following all of us as well. You can see our handles bottom right. Salomé, where can the people find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn. I am on Facebook as well. And I'm on Twitter, all with my first and last name, because my creativity stops at 2-dimensional art.
We will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. That's 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, for your daily dose of DEIBA with D and B on the Black DEIBA Collective. Bye, y'all. Have a great day.
Bye,
Thanks,
y'all.
Salomé.